Mama, living to love yourself. Valley reaching on to the moon.
A friend like you is a friend indeed. A friend like you is all I need.
What Dolly Parton's Imagination Library does, and I get excited when I think about it because it allows young people from birth to start receiving and having books in their homes.
The idea behind the program is to inspire a love of reading and a love of books by gifting a book through the mail in the child's name each month from literally the day they're born until the month that they turn 5. The books had to be new, that there had to be lots of them, and that the program had to feel more like a gift than a charity or a social service.
A red pajama feels alone without his mama. I kind of do this for my own personal benefit. This is the last one they receive in the Imagination Library, and I'll say on the first day of school, oh my goodness, I want to share with you one of my favorite books. And I can tell the kiddos, I have that book, my mommy read it last night. And you can tell, and it's so cool to see because you'll see kiddos that come from a gated community, you'll see kiddos that come in government housing, but they all have access to the same books. So like they start off kindergarten feeling like they are on even playing field because they all know this story. Anybody think any other describing words? Taylon?
Because he was pitching a fit.
He was totally pitching a fit.
Some background on our community educationally is we had a library until the early 2000s, sponsored by the County Library Association. And then when that pulled out of Ceylon, it really left a void here that we just were never able to fill. And that seems crazy in today's world. Who doesn't have access to books will come to a place like Ceylon. There's no libraries here, there's no stores here. I kind of use the term educational desert. It's really, I get kind of emotional because for us, it matters. It matters to us. This is something we need here, because without it, there's kids that aren't going to get books. It just makes me so emotional when I think of the impact this has on these kids. I mean, it's just truly, it's changing lives. It's changing lives, and there's not enough thank yous in the world for Dolly Parton and this foundation and everything that they've done to make this a reality.
Every day I pray that I can do something to uplift mankind and to glorify God. And so I think through the work that I do, that's my whole mission in life. So whether it's the Imagination Library, which I'm as proud of as anything I've ever done, or whether it's songs I write, or whether it's shows I do, I want to make people feel good about themselves and just feel good, period. And I want them to feel good about me.
Hello, I'm Peg Bolgioni, marketing volunteer with the Imagination Library at Rutland Free Library. It's a pleasure to be back on PEG TV interviewing guests Martha Ide, a volunteer with the Imagination Library, and Laura Whitman, a Rutland City parent whose child participates in the program. Please stay with us and listen to what they have to share. Welcome back to our program. I'm pleased to reintroduce my guest today on the show, Martha Ide, who is the Imagination Library Administrator, and Laura Whitman, who is a parent and a participant in the Dolly Parton Imagination Library program. So ladies, welcome to the show. I'm glad you could join me today. And we've got a lot to talk about, so we're going to dive right in. And Martha, I'm going to start with you. Can you tell us about your role on the committee and what your responsibilities involved with the Dolly Parton Imagination Library?
Sure. I am one of the, I would say, first on the committee. I was called and asked by people who really wanted to get a program started. And so because of that, I believe, being there the longest, that I am now the administrator of the Dolly Parton Imagination Library program. That entails keeping all of the data correct in terms of registrations and troubleshooting any books that aren't delivered or are returned. I'm also an active volunteer in our fundraising activities.
All right. And I know there's a lot, our committee does a lot. I mean, we do fundraising, we do outreach, We go to many events through the course of the year. And I know one of the events that we just, I think, finished up was our graduation ceremony,
great.
which is something that we've started doing the last couple of years, I believe. And did you want to talk about it? See what it is?
It just makes you smile because we invite the last year's graduating kids on for this party, and what it means is when they turn 5, then they are dropped from the program, the books end. And we started thinking about how we can honor those people that have been in the program, children, and we started a graduation ceremony, inviting them, complete with mortar boards that they decorate, and a little talk about reading by one of our leaders who's all dressed up like a university professor, ready to walk down the aisle. And then the kids throw their mortar boards in the air, and it's probably they're practicing for 15, 16 years later. So it's a very happy event. And we also, to promote the library services, have the children sign up for library cards at Rutland Free Library and kind of combine the events. And we've had a decent turnout.
We have. It's grown in
Yes.
the last couple of years, and we hope it continues to grow. And it's wonderful that there is a continuum, because we don't want this to drop once the child ages out of the program.
Right.
We want them
No,
to
we don't.
continue to
Yeah.
read, to keep enjoying reading as much as throughout the rest of their lives. So Laura, I wanted to, how did you hear about the Dolly Parton Imagination Library?
I was thinking about that, and I think that it ended up being a good friend of ours, Chris Booth, who was on the board at the time. And when we had Margot, he came and he said, "Hey, have you heard about this program?" And I had not, because I don't spend an awful lot of time on social media, and I know there's a lot of stuff on Facebook. And so he had shared that, and I was all about it. So I think he might have given us the form. So we filled it out and brought it in. Yeah, it was great. We're very thankful that he shared that with us.
And it's funny, I think maybe we need to remind people again what the Dolly Parton Imagination Library is, because people may be watching this in the future and may say, okay, what is that again? So, it's a program that started with Dolly
30 years ago.
30 years ago, and the program has been in Rutland through the Rutland Free Library for the past, since 2021.
Yes.
Correct?
April
2021. And it is a program where parents can sign up if they live in Rutland City, Rutland Town, Mendon, Ira, and Timoth, all communities served by the Rutland Free Library. And it's very easy to do that. Martha, do you want to explain?
Yes. Unfortunately, we didn't bring a registration form or poster, but you see them all over, and especially at the library. In fact, Dolly is always there to greet you. And when you sign up, you can either do it online, imaginationlibrary.com, or you can do it through the Rutland Free Library website. And it's essentially the responsible parent signs in information about the child, birth date, their address, and their email and phone, so we have a way to contact them if need be. And then I, as the main coordinator / administrator, will then enter them into the list that what I call HQ at Dollywood Foundation, and add them to our list, and then notify the post office. So the books will then start in about a month or so. We also have a QR code on our recruitment poster, so it's by paper. The forms you can even get at the library. The majority of our parents sign up online, and now we've added, to be up with the times, of course, the QR code. So there are multiple ways to register.
Right. We try to make it as easy as possible for families to be part of this program. And the books are for children birth till their 5th birthday.
Yes.
And the books are handpicked by early childhood literacy experts,
Yeah,
educators, reading specialists and other professionals. They're brand new, and the titles change every year, and the titles are also relevant to the age of the child.
Right.
And Laura, I'm sure you can speak to that as someone who has children. Now, how many children have been in how many of your children have been in the program?
2. One just graduated and was at the lovely graduation where she had a great time. But we still have one. My 4-year-old is still in the program.
Okay,
for another
great.
year.
So, what has been your child's reaction to receiving a book every month?
Well, it's super fun. I mean, who wouldn't love? It's like a little gift every month that they get. So they get very excited when we get our book in the mail, and I'll say, "Hey, you have your book," and they want to tear it open and go read it right away, over and over and over again. So we do that, but it's really fun. It's just something special, because kids, fun fact, don't get a lot of things in the mail.
No.
You know, not many people get a lot of things in the mail,
That's
but
true.
it's just a little gift that they get.
Yes.
So they've really enjoyed it.
Are there any favorite titles that they have, or are there special reading moments that you'd like to share?
Yes, well, it was funny, we were reading a couple today. A funny story that I always think of, we got the book Baby Builders when Margot was younger. And so she and I would go through it and look at all the pictures, and there's a little furry creature, and I think like 8 little guys. There's a mole and then 8 little furry creatures, and that was what she noticed about the book. So we go through, we counted them all, we just see where they were. And then when my son Milo was old enough, we started reading, he would point out all the trucks, and I had never even noticed the trucks because we were just too busy finding the creatures and looking at what they're building, and it was just funny to see how they both see the book so differently. But one of our favorites it's one of my favorites too, we all kind of love it, is it's called Red House, Treehouse, Itty Bitty Brown Mouse, and the front cover and the back cover are covered with travel stamps, like you used to put on suitcases. And the story is about this little mouse that it starts in her home, and it's just pretty empty, pretty sparse. And then she decides to go travel. So she has all these adventures, and you follow her on each page. Also bilingual book, which is very cool. I like that a lot. A lot of the books are bilingual. And then by the end, her apartment, her little house is filled with all the things that she got on her travels. And one of our favorite things to do is to go back and find, like, where did she take this picture, and where did she get this, little piece? Where did she get that art? And same thing with the travel stickers. You get to go and see which scenes from the book they were from, and it's really fun, and we all enjoy doing it together. So those are some of our favorites. Yeah.
Nice. And I know that the first book that all the children receive when they sign up for the program is
The Little Engine That Could.
And when they leave the program, what is the name of the book?
It's called Ready for Kindergarten.
I think it's Kindergarten, Here I Come, or
Yes, that's
Look
right.
Out Kindergarten, Here I Come.
Okay.
I had to look that up.
That's much better.
That's right. So, Martha, why do you believe this program is important for children and families?
Well, I guess I would say that it really enriches their lives and stimulates their imagination. And even if they decide to read the book to the parent or whomever, and they aren't following the direct, words, at least they're holding the book and reading it and looking at different things, and that's very important. It also encourages the reader or the adult to have time with that child, to read to them, and literacy is a powerful tool. I mean, you have to be able to read to almost do other things like math and the way the brain works. And that's why some of the books are cardboard, because, the 18-month-old can chew on the book, or, but they've got that book in their hand and it's all theirs when it comes. So I really feel it's important to be in a child's life.
And I want to share another factoid about Martha. You have a personal connection
yes.
to the Imagination Library, so why don't you explain?
I'm the grandparent of 3 children who started the program. Well, actually, just one started, I believe, or maybe 2 in April of 21. And the boys have graduated, but their sister is 4, and she's in the program. So it just makes me so proud to have them participate in the program. They're, of course, good readers, and they enjoy books, and it's just a wonderful opportunity for them to have something special and to read.
And how many books have we distributed since the inception of the program, and how many families or children have we
Right.
served?
Well, we've distributed 20,600.
That's a lot.
And we have served a total of 1,042 children in the 5-town district of our, or affiliate of our program. And that's just, it's wonderful. And right now we are right around, we go up to 500, and then children graduate or move, and so it goes back down into the high 400s. So we think we're kind of peaking out, but we also know that babies are born every day and people move into the community. I just want to say one more thing, and that is, as administrator, I will receive a book from the post office that was not able to be delivered, and there's a forwarding address sticker on it. And so right away I go to the Dollywood website or Imagination Library website to check if there's a program in Wisconsin, for instance, where they're moving. And then if there is, I can transfer that family's information or the children to that program. And then I notify the parents that I have done that. So it's just wonderful to think we can, that program can follow them wherever they are.
Exactly.
Usually.
And then another point I wanted to make is, what happens to the books that are not delivered?
Right.
Where do they go?
Okay. When we started the affiliate and we were looking at funding needs, we had a choice of having books that could not be delivered or forwarded, just not go anywhere, and I have no idea where they are, but or we could pay a little extra and have the undeliverable books sent back to our affiliate, which is it's actually Rutland Free Library, because we kind of sister with them. And what we do with the books is I check, I'm a keeper of those, that information of possibly why the books couldn't be delivered, or I troubleshoot, and then ultimately have to drop them from the program. And those books then are in our possession. And we had a big discussion around where they should go. And we decided that, and contacted a partner, the Homeless Prevention Center in Rutland, and they were thrilled to receive these books for their families. And just yesterday, I delivered 76 books that we had collected from, I believe, December to present day. So they're just thrilled to get them. We're thrilled to deliver them, and it's a win-win.
Absolutely, absolutely. And Laura, since your children have been involved in the program, has their interest in reading and learning changed?
We're pretty big readers to begin with in our family. So I wouldn't say that their interest has changed, but I think it's definitely encouraged that love of reading and just spending time with books. My youngest, he will, sometimes during his quiet rest, I'll hear him just look at books for an hour. You know, he can't read because he's only 4, but he loves to just sit with the pages and look at the pictures, and I'll hear him reading to himself sometimes. I think it's definitely encouraged their love of reading, which has been very sweet, and we're grateful to have more than just us. You know, like, it's fun to have the library support in that.
Has it helped with their school readiness?
Probably, because I mean, for us, we think that reading is a big part of school readiness, you know, that and life skills. So they are pretty comfortable with speech and being around books and learning. So I would say it's definitely encouraged that.
Good, good. And you've obviously this has impacted their imagination, their creativity. So I'm always astounded at how much reading can impact our lives.
I know.
And it's there, it's available. It's most of the time it's free if you go to the library. And I just can't imagine why anybody would not take advantage of this program. Laura and I were having a discussion earlier before you came in, and we said, I can't believe that more people wouldn't sign up for this amazing program. And so I'm just curious, Laura, when you talk to your friends or other parents, what is your pitch about this program? I'm just curious what you say to them in terms of getting them to sign up or trying to convince them to sign up.
Yeah, well, I mean, the question is really, why wouldn't you sign up? You know, because why wouldn't you? It's free books, it's fun, they're great books, there's such a variety. You don't have to go through, go to a bookstore and figure out which books are good. There are, professionals that are doing that to send them to the kids. So it's really like I generally just print out a form and hand it to people and say, here, do this because it's great, and we love it and we love the books, and we've even given away like a couple of books to kind of encourage people because sometimes we have doubles. Rarely it'll happen that because we have two kids so close in age that they've gotten the same book. So we always share those books with other people so they can see what the books are like. So yeah, it's really like, why wouldn't you do this? Because it's a great program.
Exactly. And again, we try to make it as easy as possible.
Right.
And we also have a very robust outreach program among our committee members. We try to cover as many events in the area as possible.
Yes.
I know there's a lot coming up this summer that we're planning to be at. We'll be at Friday Night Live. We're going to be at the Rutland Town celebration in August. National Night Out, and I know I'm missing a few. Do you?
Well, the Whoopie Pie Festival.
The Whoopie Pie Festival,
September. Gosh.
And then we go to open houses at schools.
Oh yes.
We cover those for the primary, for the preschools. We go to those, and gosh. I know, we were at Wonder Feet Museum. We did the Building Bright Futures, Just Play No Way. So we're all over the place. And we're always trying to also look for other opportunities so we can be visible in the community. Martha, what goes into bringing this, we talked a little bit about the outreach. What else is involved in trying to get the word out?
I think word of mouth is very important. Sometimes when we've been at events with another affiliate for Imagination Library, and there are many around this, if there are a few around us, and we'll brainstorm because we aren't competing with any other affiliate. We're just sharing information and to get ideas. We got the QR code idea by talking to another group. I should say too that we connect with Rutland Regional Medical Center, and for when the baby is born, there's a folder the parents receive, and our registration is tucked right in there. And I have to say, there are some times when I look at the date that I receive it, or online, the child has just been born. Or even have parents a few times have registered and said, well, the child's being born on such and such a date, because they're so eager to register. I have to deflate their balloon and just say sorry, but let me know when the baby's born. We have grandparents. Grandparents actually, if we're out spreading the word as a vendor, they can sign up parents, but the books have to be delivered to the child's address, not the grandparent's address.
Right.
Or we will hand people registrations and say, go spread them around. So we really try to spread the word as much as possible. Happy parents spread the word for all their friends, and really it's very positive.
Right. And whenever, and I think I had mentioned this to Laura when before we started the program, is we also each committee member is assigned a number of organizations that they go and visit, and to make sure that they have enough registration forms, that they have a up-to-date poster. We just updated our poster and registration forms, so so it just looks better. It's got a better kind of look and feel to it. And we do this every 6 months.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Check in.
We do our we do our 6-month check-in.
Right.
And I think that makes a difference too. But and we're always, I mean, you know, we appreciate the volunteers. We appreciate people's interest in the program. We appreciate donations.
Yes, I was going to remind
We could talk about that too if you wish. You want to talk about donations?
I'll just start that it's takes money, funding to run this program, and Dollywood or Imagination Library headquarters is pretty clear about that. When you sign up, it's based on your population in terms of how many children you think you can register over a couple of years. We went way ahead of that right away, being in an urban area for Vermont. Population is pretty dense, and so that was great, but you have to have money because you have to pay ahead every month to then get the books going for that next month. We realized that we had to write grants. We had to do some public speaking at organizations. We had to keep our ear to the ground for either library board members who live in some of our surrounding towns that we provide the program to. We also, which is not the most comfortable thing, have to approach people and say, gee, we'd really appreciate your donation, or what we're doing. Have you heard what we're doing and how many people we have reached? And businesses in town to develop partners that will continue to sustain us. I will say the Rutland City School System is our major supporter with funding. We've worked out a relationship with them to promote literacy and school readiness through books. So we're active as a committee in many ways.
We do. And the other towns that participate are also generous in their own way. And we want to do a shout out to the local civic clubs like Rutland South Rotary and Rutland City Rotary Club, who have donated to us in the past, M&T Bank, GE Aviation. They've been, and then we've had individual donations from folks. So far, fingers crossed, we're doing okay. We're doing okay, I think.
And I think per child per year, the cost is, I think, around $36, or is it more, $52? Those, you know, are bouncing around in my
and I
head.
know postage has gone up as well. I know that's another consideration.
Right.
So, like everything, it's prices are increasing. So you
mailing
have to,
costs.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Laura, I know we talked a little bit, and you've done a fine job of kind of doing a sales pitch to parents saying, this is something that, how can you not participate in this program? Is there anything you wish people understood about the value of reading, of early reading?
Well, the time, I think. We live in a culture that is very busy, and just the act of sitting down and snuggling up with your kids and reading a book is so special and memorable. Like, I love that whenever I sit down with a book with my kids, they both snuggle right up close to me, so much that I can hardly turn the pages. And these are just moments that you don't get back. And so when they're so little and young, and you have the ability to pour into them in that way, that you're sharing not only stories and beautiful pictures and imaginative growing exercises, it's just time together, you know, and that will benefit them in addition to being able to read better and be more comfortable with books. But for me, I think my biggest encouragement to parents would be like, it's time well spent, and it's very special. So.
No, I totally agree with you. It's well said. I think that sometimes parents are uncomfortable reading to their children I've heard that.
Okay.
That it's an exercise that maybe because they weren't read to, it's a generational thing, behavior. And so we have heard situations where like people will say, well, why don't you sign up? And they say, no, I don't want to, I don't have time, or I don't have I can't sit and read. Maybe because they can't read too.
Right.
That's another issue. And that's unfortunate. That really is, because you don't want your child to miss out on this opportunity.
Yeah.
And I know I'm not sure with books in schools now. Are there more audio books in schools, or are there still the tactile books in libraries? I'm just curious.
Those are good questions. I'm not sure. When I taught at the high school level, the audiobooks were becoming more available, partly because kids were struggling to read because of the literacy that was not strong. So it was definitely becoming more, but that was 6 years ago that I was still in the schools.
My grandchildren have had audio books in the classroom, but they're following along with the book.
Got it.
And math is going over here in this corner, and something else in this corner. So it can be sort of a distracting environment. And I think that in part they do this so that they can, and word recognition, it's the lower grades. I think there are a lot of reasons why they might use that, but they also have school libraries.
Right,
Yeah.
right. I mean, I hope that will never go away.
Right, agree.
I hope the libraries never go away. That's like my second home.
Yeah.
I love the
Same.
library.
Same.
Well, we're almost out of time. So I want to thank you both for being on the program and sharing information and promoting the program. I think that's important. We just want to remind people again, if you live in Rutland City, Rutland Town, Mendon, Ira, or Tinmouth, and you have children from birth up to their 5th birthday, they qualify for the program, please sign up. Go to www.rutlandfree.org/imagine, and that'll take you right to the site, and you just download the form, or you can do it online, easy peasy. Please sign up. It'll probably be the best thing you'll do for your child. Thank you very much for joining us, and we hope you watch us on pegtv.com.
Yes.